Imagine if you could never see a face from the past, not even your own parents' wedding day, without a hand-painted portrait. Before the 1800s, memories were as fleeting as shadows, existing only in the mind or on a canvas. But everything changed when we learned how to trap light. The story of photography doesn't actually start with a camera, but with a phenomenon called the camera obscura. For centuries, artists and scientists knew that if you poked a tiny hole in the wall of a dark room, an upside-down image of the world outside would be projected onto the opposite wall. It was magical, but it was temporary. The real challenge was finding a way to make that projection stay forever. Enter Joseph Nicéphore Niépce in 1826. He used a sheet of pewter coated with a light-sensitive chemical called bitumen and pointed his lens out a window in France. It took 8 grueling hours of exposure just to produce one blurry, grainy image of a rooftop. It wasn't pretty, but it was the first permanent photograph in human history. Soon after, his partner Louis Daguerre refined the process into the daguerreotype. These were incredibly sharp images on silver-plated copper, but they were expensive and required subjects to sit perfectly still for several minutes. This is exactly why people in old photos look so grumpy. It's hard to hold a smile for 5 minutes straight. As the 1800s progressed, photography moved from metal plates to glass and eventually to flexible film. The biggest turning point came in 1888 when George Eastman released the Kodak camera. His slogan was legendary, "You press the button, we do the rest." This was the birth of the snapshot. Suddenly, photography wasn't just for scientists or the elite. It was for families, travelers, and hobbyists. The world was being documented like never before. Then came the 1920s and the invention of the 35mm Leica camera. It was small enough to hold in one hand, allowing photographers to jump into the middle of the action. This birthed the era of photojournalism, capturing the raw, unscripted reality of war, poverty, and triumph. We moved from the haunting black and white tones of the Great Depression to the vibrant, saturated colors of Kodachrome in the mid-20th century, making the world on film look as vivid as the world through our own eyes. But the most radical shift was yet to come. In 1975, a Kodak engineer named Stephen Sasson created the first digital camera. It was the size of a toaster and recorded images onto a cassette tape at a resolution of only 0.01 megapixels. Ironically, Kodak didn't see the potential, but that invention eventually led to the death of film and the birth of the digital revolution. Today we carry high-definition cameras in our pockets that would have seemed like science fiction just 40 years ago. We take more photos every few minutes today than the entire human race took in the 19th century. We've gone from 8-hour exposures to instant global sharing. Photography has become our universal language, a way to witness history as it happens and to hold on to the people we love long after they're gone. It's more than just technology, it's our collective memory. What is the most meaningful photo you've ever taken? Let us know in the comments, and if you love learning about the inventions that built our world, make sure to follow for more of this series.